Hey, I was thinking about this situation that happened to me when I was younger. Well, not necessarily happened to me, but it was something that I saw that stuck with me. Um, to be honest, I think we all see, a lot of us see a lot of we might see a lot of violent things. Some people don't see any, whatever. Some people see a few things, um, you know. But the reason why I wanted to bring this story up was because this story, if I could trace it back, because like I said, I'm doing the work and everything and trying to fix certain things about me and learn about myself and really kind of find out where I went wrong, where I went right. You know how it goes, right? I'm doing the work. So um, this story, and I try to when I tell you a story, I try to tell you about it's a lesson that I learned. Right? I'm not telling you guys stories to, oh, it's an entertaining story. Oh man, I'm not trying to become the YouTuber that tells you about you know negative things happen and then saying bye. If you want to hear another story, you know what I mean. It's not that I'm trying to basically let you guys know this is what I learned in life and how I learned those things. And all of those things won't be through violence. All of those things won't be negative at all. It's just there's a story. The story could be however the story is. It might be something crazy or it might be something great. It is what it is. Um, all things. I didn't have a whole bunch of just crazy things happen to me left and right. So I'm not about to perpetrate that to you. I'm gonna just tell you the stories how they happen. So this story honestly, this is what happened to me after this took place. Right. Again, this isn't something that physically happened to me, but it's something that I learned a lesson from it, and it wasn't the best lesson. The lesson that I learned from this was that you're not safe. You're never safe. Even when you're a kid, you're not safe, right? Even when you're a teenager, you're not safe. Now, when I say not safe, I mean as a teenager, right? We're in America, right? I'm in America. That's where I'm from, right? As a teenager, usually your biggest threat is other teenagers, right? Especially if you're on school campus or whatever. It's usually other teenagers. Now, me as a kid, I have seen issues and had issues where adults come to the school to fight you, right? It might be an adult gang member. It might be just an adult that's just a hard head, whatever. And they might come in groups, right? Or they might be gang members that are, 3 or 4 years older, 3 or 4 years past that high school age, and they're coming to fight the local gang that happens to go to high school. Things like that, right? This situation was similar to the latter, right? I mean, actually, no, similar more to the first one. But I'm gonna be real. It, like I said, it taught me from that day on. I stopped feeling safe. And when I say safe, I knew that there were gangs around, and I knew certain things could happen, right? And I knew certain things could happen at school. And most of the time, that's where it happened. And there's something about, like I said, having issues with people your age. Having issues with people your age, not saying you're safe. It just feels different. You get jumped by somebody at your school, bunch of dudes at your school. You get into a fight after school around the corner. Somebody brought a gun to school. That's different. That's a different feeling um, than when somebody's an adult, right? So I knew, at when I saw that, at that age, I was like, oh, we're not gonna be, you know, there's no way around this. You're just not gonna be safe, right? And I lost a lot of trust in people, and I lost the feeling of, I 100% lost that feeling of innocence, right? When you're a young person, you have a certain level of innocence, right? And it leaves whenever it leaves. Some people it leaves crazy early. Some people need to see a whole lot more. Like me, I I needed to see more for that innocence to leave. It wasn't gonna leave the first fight I saw, the first shooting I saw, nothing like that. It was gonna leave. It needed some more, evidently. It is what it. I don't know, whatever. It just happened the way it happened. So So anyway, so I'm gonna get into the story. So there was this kid I knew. I had class with, Latino homie. He was a Latino homie. He I believe is from LA. So he wasn't from a gang at this point yet. He was in a stage they call claiming, right, where he basically, being from LA, he was going to be part of a southern gang, right? And that's just kind of how that was. So, and dude was extremely tall. Like, I'm 6'2", he was maybe 6'3" or 6'4". You know what I mean? He was tall. I would say this was like ninth grade. This is about ninth grade year. I'm not sure if he was in ninth grade. I just know I had a class with him. He wasn't really the talkative type. You know, he wasn't going to really too much tongue wrestle with you. You know what I mean? He was more of a quiet person. He would draw, and this is what kind of gave it out to me that I knew he was going to probably join a gang. But he would wear specifically one color, and that color was blue. That was the color he wore. You know, again, he wasn't from the gang yet. He wasn't. I would say he wasn't put on yet. He was probably just claiming. You know, he would draw like smile now, cry later type of art. You know what I'm saying? Where it'd be like a clown face crying, and it was all, at this point in time, that was a stereotypical style of art that you would see taggers draw. Usually they were Southerner. They were part of a Southside faction. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it was. You know, at that time, that was the information we had, at least. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think I sat by him a couple times or whatever, but he in class, but mostly, you know, he was quiet, whatever. He was reserved. He was chill. He wasn't, you know. So moving forward, I started to see him. He was different, you know, over time. Over time, he got a little different. He started wearing. He was dressing in the same color, but his clothing was different. Back then, we wore the Old Navy windbreakers or whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We kind of dressed my bad, y'all. I'm driving. I look up and they got a fucking swastika hanging from me. But anyway, so I just noticed him change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I noticed him change. So over time, oh, you trying to get over? I got you, play. I got you. So over time, like I said, he changed, right? And you know, you get older or whatever, but this is in the span of a year. So lots of changes happened with him. I started to notice him hanging out with those particular gang members. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, he done got put on, right? Okay, at that point in time, in Northern California, the politics were like this. You have Northerners, you have Southerners, you have, you know, blacks, you have Polynesians, you know, Asians and all that. But the Southerners are generally don't like black people. They're not usually big fans of them up there. I'm not sure about how it works other places. I don't know their politics, but up there, for sure, it's that's what it was. Southerners weren't big fans of black people. So when I saw that he was kind of moving in that direction and hanging out with those people, I distanced myself from him. Because if you don't like If you don't like us, then I'm not I'm not about to put in any effort to talk to you. So, moving forward, that's the backstory to kind of let you know, like, if there was a connection, right? And there was a slight connection. Like I said, me and him had words in school, and you know what I'm saying? We were cool. I would shake his hand. We were cool. Had a couple of jokes. He just wasn't talkative to people. He wasn't talkative to people like that. And to be honest with you, he mostly spoke Spanish with his friends. You know what I'm saying? That's when you saw the most. He spoke very good English. He just preferred to speak Spanish, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it seemed like, which is whatever, which is cool. So, so after school, right? This probably be mid to late ninth grade year. Me and one of my buddies from the last class that I had that day were walking home. This particular person that I was walking home with, he lived. There was a 4-way intersection. I went right, and he went, I think, left or something like that, or he went straight. I can't remember. But that's what happened at that 4-way intersection, right? So, as we're walking down the main road that the high school is on, we're on the way home, whatever. We see it was like there was a little commotion, but it wasn't with this faction, right? So we see, how'd it happen? Oh, so here's what happened. So we see right across the street from us. We're at a 4-way intersection. We are on. If you're looking at the 4-way intersection, we are going essentially. I would say we're going east on the main road. Right, we're going east. If we go back west, we're going to school. If we go north, we're going this way, and if we go south, we're going this way. If that makes sense. So we're walking. All of a sudden, we turn around. We see, we get to that light right at the intersection. We see, old boy. I'm gonna say his name just so we were able to, like we know the name. The story don't get behind us, right? So we see, we see old boy. We see Rogelio, right? He's walking with 2 other Southsiders and two female Southsiders, right? He's just trooping, just walking up, you know what I mean? I'm assuming getting ready to get active. I don't know. Mind you, Rogelio is probably, like I said, he's somewhere between 14 and 16. I know he wasn't a senior, you know what I mean, at this time. He wasn't a senior. But he could have been a junior, could have been a freshman. I was a freshman, right? So, cool. He's walking. We peeped him out. Back then, in our mind, it wasn't safe in that area for his particular faction. So I'm looking at him like, okay, whatever, he's trooping, whatever he's doing. That's on, that's his business, whatever, that's their business. So, we're just chilling. We're at the light, and now mind you, me and Hunter have not made any sort of attempt to actually go our separate ways because we're chopping it up. I can't remember what we were talking about, but we were chopping it up big time. And I can't remember what it was, but it was probably, something could have happened at school or something, right? Okay. All of a sudden, I see a 5.0 Mustang, old school, pull up. When I say pull up, I mean they were going maybe about 40 miles an hour, something like that, to a complete stop. And they stopped in the parking lot of a liquor store that was right next to, that was actually on the same side as us. So we're at the 4-way intersection, right? And we're on the corner like this. We're at the corner like this, and we're right here at the corner. Here's the gas station or the liquor store. And that's the parking lot, right? So they pulled up right behind us and stopped and did the thing, right? So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's cool, whatever. And but right before, like as soon as they stopped, I knew something was wrong. I saw the Mustang and I said, okay, that's cool, whatever. I saw the Mustang, but as soon as they stopped, I knew something was wrong because of how quick they stopped. And they bounced out of that car, two grown ass dudes, right? And I immediately could tell what faction they were from because they had what's called we call them Mongols, right? And a Mongol was I'm not about to sit up here and act like I know anything about Mongolian people, but it was said to be the hairstyle that Mongolian warriors wore, which was shaved in the front, and in the back they would have the actual patch of hair, the hair in the back, and it would be braided down in a long braid. That particular hairstyle was usually attributed to the northern gang members, right? Northern Hispanic gang members, the Northerners, right? So, so as soon as they bounced out and I saw that hair, I said, "Oh yeah, this is about to be not good." That I could tell. Mind you, on the other side of the street, right? This is to our right. To our left is Rogelio, those two girls, and those two dudes, right? Rogelio sticks out like a sore thumb. At this point in time, you got to think school had just got out. We have traffic up and down the street. Each light has 30 rows back of cars. So Rogelio, at this point in time, he hasn't peeped it. Me and Hunter have no choice but to, because it's just to our right. It's on the same side of the street as us. So we didn't have no choice but to peep it. When those two dudes bounced out, I knew that they were not just, I just graduated from high school a couple of years ago. No, these were 30-something-year-old men. These were grown men. You know what I mean? These were grown-ass men. So, I immediately knew it was all bad. When they bounced out, they went straight to the trunk. Straight to the trunk. And they popped the trunk, and the first thing that they did was both of them grabbed a bat. It did not look like a wooden bat either. Both of them grabbed bats. When they grabbed the bats, what ended up happening was they immediately took off after Rogelio and those two other dudes who I didn't know, by the way, and the two girls, right? So they take off. Boom. They on them. One dude goes left, one dude goes right. They're trying to basically get them into one. They're basically trying to get them into, like, because there's so much traffic going this way. So they're trying to come around and kind of flank them, kind of get them out and get to them, right? Everybody that Rogelio was with, they all looked like kids. They all looked young, like, you know what I mean? Rogelio had height on him, but a baby face. Like, also, you got to understand, like, two of them had backpacks on. It was a whole thing. You knew those were high schoolers. You could tell. Like, I'm 36 now, and, like, I can see a high schooler. Like, you don't even have to be in high school. I mean, meaning you don't have to be just getting out of school or leaving high school or whatever. If I see you on a Saturday, I can tell you're a kid. I can tell you're a high schooler, like, you know what I'm saying, or a middle schooler or whatever. So they knew at the age that they were at what age group Rogelio and these other people were, right? So let's just keep it real. So there you go. So at this point in time, one of them had got to Rogelio. Um, Me and Hunter are at this point in time in awe. We're watching this at the corner. He's looking right, I'm looking left, right? And Rogelio got hit pretty bad. Um, there was a time, right? And mind you, these two dudes are chasing these people down and just beating them with bats. Like when I say beating them, I mean like they couldn't weave through cars fast enough to get away from these dudes, getting on them. And at this point in time, this is traffic, right? So people are being picked up from school, people are being driven home, whatever, and they're watching this. They're literally watching this happen right in front of them. And like I said, Rogelio's falling on cars, trying to get through, getting hit. He got hit in the leg and he spun around. He's trying to get away, right? And I remember me and him kind of locked eyes for a second. And it seemed like we locked eyes. It's like I said, he's a good distance away from me, so I can't really, I don't have any proof that we locked, but at a point it just seemed like he wanted help. You know what I mean? The sort of the feeling that I got, like I felt like we locked eyes, and he was like, man, and it felt like he was saying, I'm just a kid, I'm just a child. You know what I mean? And I can't. It's kind of tough to talk about, but it just seemed like, you know what I mean? He was saying, you know, I'm just a child. You feel me? Like this is crazy. Help me. You know what I mean? What do I do? Like he got in over his head. You get what I'm saying? And it was crazy. So, at this point in time, the girls are getting hit. They're getting punched. I mean, I think the other dude might have been punching on the other girls or whatever. Hit the other guy. I think the other guys took off too. There was two other guys that was with Rogelio. I didn't even see them at this point. They took off. So this might have been just Rogelio and them two girls getting dealt with, right? It's one dude on Rogelio giving him the business, and then there's another dude on the girls. He's, you know what I mean? At one point in time, this to kind of show you how much people were inside of the politics, even if they weren't necessarily there, they were in the politics, right? So I remember distinctly seeing Rogelio running, right? And Rogelio was running. Somebody opened the door on Rogelio. Their driver's door on Rogelio, right? Now, mind you, he has nowhere to go. It's traffic. There's traffic coming this way and traffic going this way. It's a two-way. So you have one lane this way, one lane that way, right? And he's running in between. Traffic is stopped. That's another thing, bro. Traffic is stopped. This ain't like when, people have to drive, but they drive past and see it like, damn, that's crazy. It's not even like that. Like right now, at this point in time, traffic is stopped. Like, it's mania. It's crazy. So once traffic starts to move again, you can start seeing everything, right? But dude opened the door on Rogelio, and Rogelio hit that door and flung over the door, bro. So immediately after me and Rogelio locked eyes, I looked up, like going towards farther up that street, and I saw two other members of Rogelio's group coming back this way. I have never seen these dudes. They have flannel on, and I never seen them at school or nothing like that, right? So when I saw them, I noticed the two northerners, they saw them too. So one takes off after him. He shoots off. He's got a bat in his hand, right? Those dudes shoot off, right? They shoot off. They gone, right? Because they see him with the bat. So and he's grown. He's getting ready to give both of them the business. Is what's about to happen. It's they know it's about to hurt, so they take off, right? I'm trying to think of a bunch of other things I saw with that. Well, I'm gonna cut the video because I'm at work already. It's time to get cracking. But yeah, I just want to hit y'all with a story, man. I learned from this story that even though I was a kid, I was not safe. If I chose to make a bad decision, right? If I chose to get into a life like that, this is what could happen. So that's what I learned. You know, you got to whatever decision you make, you have to stand on it. You have, as a man or as a woman, you have to stand on that decision, because the world is not finna give you room to say, oh, you know, you made a bad decision. It's okay. The world is not here to give you hugs, and it did not give me hugs, right? So I knew at that point in time, if you want a hug, go to your mom. That's it. Anything outside of that house is not about to hug you, and you're gonna learn that one way or another. But I lost the feeling of being innocent. I would say almost I would say the biggest thing out of that, to be honest with you, might have been the feeling of that me and him locked eyes, that me and him had eye contact, and the look on his face was, the feeling I got was he was saying, I'm just a kid, you know, this is too much for me. And he was just a kid, you get what I'm saying? And it was fucked up that they did what they did. I'm gonna be real. But unfortunately, you have to say that is a life that he chose, you know, and when that kind of stuff happens to you that young, it makes it even harder to turn around and change your life. It makes it next to impossible, you know? So, I don't know, hopefully he got things together. I hope, you know, but anyway, I just wanted to hit y'all with a story, man. I'll have another one for y'all soon. I'm out at you.